Astonn Penman, Evolushin Designs. Born and raised Pasadena. A few. I started off at Harriet Tubman, which was an all-black African-American school, elementary for pre-K through, I believe, second. Then third grade, went to this small Christian school called Glorious Praise. Lasted there for a year, then went up the street here to St. Elizabeth's, which was a Catholic school, a parish school. Then junior high hit, 7th grade. In 8th grade, I went to Elliott Junior High. 9th grade, I went to Blair, and then after that, I got a scholarship to Rebay Academy. I went to ECC. Started working. I grew up in a family where we didn't have much. So if I wanted anything, I've been doing everything for myself as far as the things that I wanted since I was 13 years old. So at the age of 17, I graduated at 17, and I had to start paying rent and contributed my portion to the household. So I started going to school, majored in psychology, but I also had to work. And work ended up overtaking school. Amazing. I love every bit of it. I'm a really optimistic person. I believe in paying attention and preparing for the worst, but I always believe in the best. So growing up in Pasadena in the 90s, it was really hot out here as far as gang violence and things of that nature, and so Pasadena being a city that's predominantly a blood-based city, as far as African American gangs are concerned, predominantly blood city. Everybody around me, either their brothers, uncles, cousins, were gang members, but there was still a great sense of community and family. So they knew that I wasn't going that route. So they would, even though I was around it and in it, they made sure to encourage me not to partake in it. So growing up, I would be at Jackie Robinson Park pretty much every day, playing basketball with some of the biggest gangsters or drug dealers or whatever in the city. But on the court, that was holy ground, So, and if there was ever any trouble or anything like that, if anybody ever even tried to come against me, these same guys were protective of me because they knew that I wasn't cut for that cloth. Or from that cloth. That's not what I was supposed to be. So with that, as far as my neighborhood, but then going to private schools and experiencing all the different, the multicultural aspect of Pasadena, as we're quite a diverse city, I believe it molded me and gave me so many different points and angles and points of interest that I can lean upon today. So I love my experience growing up in Pasadena. I'm glad that my kids are able to experience some of it as well. Well, I started my business about a year ago, but I guess it kind of was always something that I was into. So the different aspects of my business. So my business includes interior decorating, personal styling, photography, and some business consulting and social media management. Now, each aspect is like certain things I've been doing for much longer before I ever even formed it as a business. So my mother was an interior decorator. Her first business, I remember as a kid, was Penman Party Planners. And we would go to different people's homes when I was a child. I was probably about 4th grade, so I was maybe about, I guess, what's that, 10? And we would decorate people's homes for the holidays. Another aspect of my business, I was blessed with, I call him like an uncle, if you will, who gave me my first camera as a kid. And I started shooting with film camera, black and white, and started to try to understand how to take photographs as a child. Didn't really know what I was doing, but had a joy in it. So all those things are aspects of my business. And as far as me taking the leap of faith to actually start it, I got tired of helping other people become millionaires. I worked in the nonprofit sector from one organization to the next, and nonprofit is largely funded by government grants or contracts from either the county or the state or nationally. And once that money dries up, you're searching for the next grant. The problem with that is, one, it doesn't pay very well. The reward is really in your work, and you have to have a joy and a love for it, which I still do, but it didn't pay very well. You're always looking for new sources of money, and then every time I did something, a different job, I didn't feel challenged after a few months. I'd master it, and then I'm kind of looking at my boss like, with all due respect, but like, I could do your job, and I see ways to maximize your job. So though I'm appreciative of the experience, and still have, like I said, a part of me still has a love and a joy for it, so I still try to give back as much as I can. I felt it was time for me to leave so that I could try to create a better legacy for myself and really have something to leave behind for my children. I don't want them to have to go through the same struggles that I did growing up and having to figure stuff out in the same way. I want them to have the opportunity to at least choose. We live in a very insecure world. I mean, like I said, the climate of just the world in general, and people are especially, and we live in California, so the way you look matters so much to people just in general in this state, or even in this city, but especially just in the world today, because the way media and social media is, everybody is taking selfies or whatever. Everybody cares so much about their personal appearance. As far as our people are concerned, when it comes to style, we set every trend, from music to fashion, to culinary. Most things that are popular in pop culture have been started or are largely influenced by our people. The problem is that we don't necessarily recognize that. So if we can't recognize that these things have been taken from us, or we can't be proud of it, and I think it stops us from even realizing that it is our own. Hopefully growth. I want to expand as big as I can get. Hopefully I can land maybe some contracts with big maybe movie studios or even record labels or anything like that, where so that I can have some residual income. Hey, this is my yearly salary to come out and work with different clients and things of that nature. I'm only as good as the last thing that I do. So hopefully the last thing that I do they won't be too far in between. I really can't say how far it'll go, but the sky is obviously the limit, and that's really what I'm shooting for.